How's everybody doing? Just a second, guys. Alright. Just a minute, guys. Russ, what's up? Jennings, what's up? Tom, Patrick, Sue. How's everybody? We're just getting some things ready here. We have one snake that we've got to feed to start the night off here. And then after that, we'll go on to talk about the other snakes. There's one last night that I forgot, so it's going to kind of be a continuation of the ones that we forgot last night. Or the ones we were doing last night. If there's anyone here that ain't hit that like button yet, do that for me, please. Yeah, it was busy last night for sure. For sure. Let's see what happens tonight, because the way that worked out last night after we had so much traffic, for some reason it immediately had an error and I never got all the true analytics for it. And so far tonight here, we're not looking real promising. It happens that way though on this channel. We'll have a really, really good night. Next thing you know, stuff collapses. But we'll see what's happening. We get a few people coming in here. So, like I said, we're going to feed this one. And then after we do that, we will talk about the others. And also, I expected a shipment to come in today. To be able to do this stream, that the shipment didn't actually come in yet, that I was expecting today, unfortunately. But let me go ahead and pull a snake out here, the one that we're going to feed. Some people asked some questions last night, actually, about this, when we were talking about the others. So, those of you that's been here before, you guys seen this girl, but this girl right here is actually Bill's daughter. Bill was the male that we were working with last night there, and we fed and everything. This is his daughter, and we've got to feed her. Her name is Baby Huffy. Unfortunately, her mother passed away. We were giving birth to her a little over, well, November was a year, so I don't know, December, January, February, a year and 3 months now. So she's about a year and 3 months old. Sorry guys, I'm just grabbing something here. I'll be right with you. I got that rodent thawing. Should only take a couple minutes because it's a smaller rodent for this guy here, so it won't take nowhere near as long as it did for the big one. But this is another West African gaboon viper. Again, this one is 15 months old. Guys, please smash that like button for me. When we get as many likes as possible when we first start, it really helps the stream out. Helps get a lot more traction, and helps bring people into our future streams. And but I'm checking this rodent here. Yeah, it'll be a few minutes for this rodent. So anyway, for those of you who haven't been here before, I'm going to tell you how I do things here. Those of you who've been here already know how I do things. But what we'll do here is I like to start with a little prayer before we get going on the animal. After I say the prayer, we'll talk a little bit about the animal. I'll take some time for some questions. We'll talk about them and move on to some other animals. So let's begin with a prayer. So if you don't mind, give me just 1 minute of silence. It's going to be a real short prayer here. A minute of silence and the chat, and then we can commence with chatting right after the prayer. So, Heavenly Father, thank you for the beauty and diversity of the natural world, and please help us to respect and understand even the creatures that inspire fear. And please help those of us that are afraid of these animals to understand that these animals are not out to hurt us, that you put them here just like you did us. And most importantly, please keep the pointy end of these animals as far away from my body as possible while working with them and trying to educate the public about them. Amen. So guys, once again tonight here, this is sort of a continuation of last night for right now, and then we're going to move on to some other snakes here. But as a continuation from last night, because I needed to get her out here and talk about her with you guys, it's another West African gaboon viper. They're one of the most powerful and fascinating snakes on Earth. They got a massive body, a leaf-shaped, camouflaged head, and they got the longest fangs of any venomous snake on the planet. They're born, stunning and deadly. They're found in the rainforests of West and Central Africa. The viper is an ambush predator. They'll sit and wait for their prey for hours, sometimes days. Check this rodent quick. I know we talked a lot about these guys last night. I do want to talk a little about them, for those that didn't get to hear it. But I don't want to eat up a lot of time with them, because of those of you who have, who were here already and talked about them with us. I don't want y'all to get bored with it and stuff. So anyway, guys, their scientific name for these guys is Bittus rhinoceros. It's the West African. There is also an East African gaboon viper that is known by Bittus gaboonica, but this one is Bittus rhinoceros. The way you can tell them apart is on the face. Let me zoom in here. On the face right there, you see that black part of the pattern that looks like a... Let me adjust this stupid tripod. Right there, that little black part. That on a West African, they only have one triangle there. On the East African, the Bittus gaboonica, they actually have two triangles there. And the gaboonica does not have the horns on the nose like the rhinoceros does. But guys, so let me start from the top here real quick. Usually whenever people think about dangerous snakes, they usually imagine something that's fast and aggressive and constantly moving like a cobra. But guys, the gaboon viper, really defies that image. It's not frantic, it's not restless, it's calm, it's silent, it's patient. And in that patience lies power. They're as I was saying, native to the rainforests of areas like, West and Central Africa, countries like Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon. They really thrive in the humid, leaf-covered forests, and where the enrichment enrichment and environment is very dense, and alive with sounds, birds, and insects. But small mammals running around are what they eat. Let me find my hook. I'm not prepared here. And she is on the move. But guys, here's a good example of some of the stuff I try to explain. These animals are not villains. These animals don't want anything to do with you. I am actually right here beside her, and she's doing nothing but trying to get further away from me. Just trying to get further and further away as we go here. She don't want to sit still while we talk about her. Nope, come on, girl. Hey. Hey, girl. It won't be long, though. Just a couple of minutes, and I'll give her something to eat, and she'll sit still while I'm talking about her. I actually got to grab my tongs. There they are. See, unless here, there. Actually, guys, let's check this out here. Because this is something that I wanted to show last night, but with the bigger ones, I couldn't do. But let me move her back again, and I'll show you. They don't move in the typical serpentine motion like you would think for a snake. They move in what's called rectilinear locomotion. Watch her as she gets her body straight. She crawls like a giant caterpillar in a straight line. They're using their ribs and their muscles on their body down there to, essentially like little feet, just using them like little feet to move. Now, if this snake wants to move very quickly, it can move very quickly, and it can move in a serpentine motion, like a normal average snake. But the biggest genus, which would be your snakes like the gaboon viper, the rhino viper, the puff adder, things like that. Thank you guys. Thank you for that gift. I appreciate that very much. Sorry if I don't see comments right this second. I don't look very often. That caught the corner of my eye because it flashed up on the screen. But all three of those that I have named, there are some others as well, but those ones that I've named so far, they all move in this rectilinear locomotion. And actually, let me put her on the floor. I'll put her on the floor with a bigger area where we can watch her do this. Come here, baby huppy. Here, come on. Nope, you got to go straight if you're going. If you're gonna crawl, you go that way. You go that way. There you go. Here we go. Even when she takes a turn, it's just like a big freight train moving along. It's not like you would expect out of a snake. It's pretty cool stuff how they move. Let me try to get her back here again. There you go. Now she's doing a serpentine motion to try to get away quicker. But now that she thinks she has enough distance between me and her, now she straightens her body back out and continues to flow like a caterpillar. So, pretty cool stuff, but her rodent's just about ready here, so let me go ahead and grab her before she disappears on me. Come here, girl. Come here, girl. Come here, big girl. Hey. Come on, big girl. Come on, baby huppy. Hey, there you go. Alright. But anyway, guys, this is baby Huffy, the West African gaboon viper. She is the baby of Bill, the male, last night that we looked at. That female is not her mother. Her mother passed away in November 1 year ago, so 15 months ago. I had a wreck on the interstate in my RV when I was going to a reptile show, and she lost her life in that accident. But let me check this rodent real quick here, and we will see if it's ready to go, because you guys will be surprised at how fast these animals strike. They are one of the fastest striking snakes on the planet. Let me see if this rodent's ready. Yeah, it feels ready, so okay. So let me move the camera. Here we go. We're going to put this right in front of her. It ain't going to take long, guys. Ready? Unless she ain't hungry. Bam. Yeah, see? She wasn't hungry. Or she was hungry, so once she realized I was trying to feed her, took her no time at all. And we will be able to get a little closer watch of her than what we could with the bigger ones. Wicked Allen. Hey, Wicked Allen, for a baby gaboon viper, a brand new neonate, for captive born and bred, they're about $300. So if you get your license up there, I would most certainly help you out with that. Snakes are not immune to their own venom. They are resistant to their own venom, but they are not immune. But hey guys, if there's anybody here that hasn't hit that like button yet, please smash that like button for us. It really helps us out. It brings a lot more people into these streams, brings people into our future streams. It's really the way this channel functions. You know, without that, without your likes, the channel's not much good to us, because we are monetized, but we don't make any money on this channel, you know, so again, counting last night, over the last 29 days, 29 days, we've made like $74. So it's not about money for us. It's just about the education, conservation, the educational experience, teaching people that these snakes aren't monsters. These snakes are, very beneficial to humans. So we count on your likes to be able to reach as many people as we possibly can. Thank you. Have you ever lost one and later found it? I have lost some snakes and later found them. Not a gaboon viper, though. I lost a forest cobra and I lost a green mamba, and I found them. It was only several hours that the green mamba was gone, and it was about 7 or 8 hours that the forest cobra was gone. A Y Angel, if I'm saying that correctly. I looked back through the chat last night after the stream ended, and I'm sorry I missed a couple of your questions. I don't recall them off the top of my head now, but I try my best to answer the questions, so I apologize about not answering a couple of yours. If you lose a gaboon, something's in trouble. Yeah, you lose a gaboon, the neighbor's dog might disappear. Especially if I lose one of the large ones. Yeah, you don't sleep with them loose in the house, that's for sure. That's for sure. There you go. She's about to adjust her fangs. I mean, for being a baby gaboon viper, look at the size of the fangs on that snake for being a baby gaboon viper. And to give you guys an idea, like I did last night with Bertha, the big one, and her size. Oh, fuck. To give y'all an idea, like I set a Pepsi can next to Bertha to show you her size. So here's a Pepsi can next to baby Huffy. The reason her name is Baby Huffy is her mother's name was actually Huffy, because they like to huff quite a bit. What'd you say, Matthew Ruth? I just see a question mark. It's all I see. Cute noodle. Nope. Let's see here. Got to look up a taipan now. Yeah, we will be showing a taipan at a future date on the stream. We have inland taipan, so we will show that at a future date. Hey guys, if there's anybody here that ain't hit the like button yet, please smash that like button for us. Again, this channel really depends on your likes. Without them, the streams go nowhere. It'll fizzle out to nothing, and we won't get any more people, you know. It'll just go nowhere at all. So we really, really need your likes to keep this thing active, you know, bring people into our future streams, you know, keep us able to, you know, educate the public about these creatures. How much is the license? Depends on your location. Google it, it will come up. That's correct. I do not have a crested gecko. I do not. Oh, man. You're in Idaho? I did just feed it. I'm not even going to read your name, but I did just feed it. I'm actually probably going to feed it another one, too, because she probably would like to have another one tonight here. So, let me grab another rodent and get it thawing out, and then we'll feed her real quick. Oh, it's alright, baby hubby. Hey. It's alright, girl. Come here. Here. Here, girl. Hey. There you go, girl. Smash that like button for us, folks. It'll take a couple of minutes for this rodent to thaw out. And then we'll feed her another rodent here. She's getting big enough that she can handle 2 of them nowadays. So, she may not take the second one. We'll see. We'll see here. But if you guys remember me saying last night that her mother or her father and the female I have both, you know, have a lot more yellow on them than what we're used to seeing. Microwave rat, yeah. Oh yeah, some vipers will hiss, you know, she's one of them that will. Yeah, I was expecting to have a shipment in today of a couple of new venomous snakes, and there was one of the venomous snakes in that shipment that I wanted for tonight's show, so that's going to have to probably be delayed till tomorrow. So we'll probably just end up looking at a couple cool West African species tonight. Alright, let's see here. Gaboons are like an 8 on poison scale. Venom scale. Venom. I know that, you know, and I'm not saying this to be a jerk to anybody, but I want to explain the difference in poison and venom. Because that is a common mistake made by people, you know, call them poisonous rather than venomous. So, poison has to be ingested. So basically, if you was to bite the snake and you got sick, it would be poisonous. If the snake is to bite you and you get sick, the snake is venomous. Yeah, possum. They really, it's an amazing, how big they get. Like I say, this girl here, she's about 15 months old, and she's not real big yet. But now, 1 year from today, this snake will probably be over 3 feet, and real girthy. The first year is probably the slowest growth that I know of. Gaboon snake is like a 4 on the venomous scale because they have a very wicked bite. There's there is a scale that they use for snakes, that's called the LD50, and the LD50 actually stands for lethal dose, and it's on a scale up to 50. So the LD50, it's the lethal dose required to kill 50% of test subjects, and that's usually lab mice. Is how they figure out the LD50. And for the gaboon viper, it varies depending on how the venom is administered. When they administer it, intravenous, it's anywhere from 8 tenths to 1 milligram per kilogram of body weight. Um, Subcutaneous, is usually 5 milligrams per kilogram. So like now with a gaboon viper, a single bite can deliver anywhere between 200 and 1,000 milligrams of venom. Very average yields for these snakes are 400 to 600 milligrams. The venom is both hemotoxic and cytotoxic. And what that means is it causes, severe tissue damage, internal bleeding, swelling, and even organ failure. So, although the LD50 is not the lowest among vipers, the large venom yields is what makes it, medically very, very serious. LD50 values are based on animal models and cannot be directly translated to humans. The human outcomes depend on a lot of factors, including bite location, the amount of venom injected, the body size, and the speed of medical treatment. Um, Let me check this rodent here. It's almost warm enough, guys, and then we'll feed it. Yep, yep. All right, there, Justice. Ain't nobody said anything, big talking. But anyway, you keep on being you. I'm sorry I keep asking, but do you ever plan on getting a boom slang? Uh, if one comes available, with one of my, reptile connections, there's a very good chance I would get one. Yes, I haven't seen one come available yet. Otherwise, I would probably already have one. But yes, now a fun fact about the boom slang is the boom slang is actually a rear fang venomous snake. And typically, with a rear fang venomous snake, they are not super deadly. However, the boom slang is. And the boom slang is actually neither a viper, nor an elapid. It is actually a colubrid. And when we think of colubrids, we typically think of a non-venomous snake, like a rat snake or a black snake, a black racer, king snakes, things like that. Yeah, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm not here to show off and do crazy, free handling videos here. I just don't do that. It's not what we're after here on this channel. Yes, I could pick this snake up, hold it in my bare hands, and probably get 1,000 people here watching me do it. But that's not it. I'm here to actually teach real education with these animals, and you know try to turn the fear into respect with these animals, not, potentially cause more fear. Jennings, I do have a copperhead. I do, absolutely, yes. I think boomslangs look really cool. Their eyes focus on you like a bird of prey. Absolutely. Correct. Don't do that, Rip. Steve Irwin. Yeah, you're right. I ain't gonna do that stuff. I'll leave that up to the other channels that are out there purely to make a YouTube channel out of it. My YouTube channel is about education. You need to respect these animals because they are beautiful creatures and I love them so much. They are absolutely beautiful creatures. Yeah, she's very chill now. When you first get them out, they're kind of in flight mode. They want to, run, things like that. Thank you, Ruth. I appreciate that very much. I know that I can, it's going to take me a lot longer to, build up a big following of people that, want the educational, respectful content. It's going to take me much, much longer to do that than if I would get out here free handling a cobra or, swimming with my gaboon vipers and stuff. But I don't care. If it takes me a couple of years to build up a big following, to do this, respectfully with the appropriate tools, all the appropriate equipment to do it with, to teach all of you, that these animals, aren't villains. That's what I'll do. Matthew, I cannot show a copperhead tonight. You may not have been here for this, but I don't live where I'm at right now. I am just down here doing some work. So I have some snakes with me to be able to put on the live streams. Other snakes are at my property in their building that's built specifically for them. You have noticed you've been here a few nights. Awesome, possum. That wasn't meant to be a joke. I just said that and then realized it kind of was. How does one even come into possession of a gaboon viper? Well, you purchase it. They've been in the exotic and animal world for many, many, many years here in the United States. But Matthew, if you watch long enough, here in the next I know I've said this before too, but I mean it, within the next couple of weeks, we will be full-time back where I live, with all the snakes, and I'll be able to show some of these other snakes. Yeah, she would crossbreed, Henry, with other snakes in her genus, the bittish genus, which would be like the puff adder or the rhino viper. If you was to breed this snake together with a rhinoceros viper, you would actually end up with what's called a gabino viper. It's a hybrid of the two. Alright, let me check this rodent here, see if it's about ready, because she might need another one for us. If she don't, I have a snake underneath her that'll probably eat it, even though they just ate the other day. But guys, I'm going to zoom in a little closer on her head to show you guys exactly how fast she really strikes here. These guys are one of the fastest striking snakes on the planet. Ready, let's see here. Bam, look how quick that was. That's just freaking ridiculously fast, guys. Ridiculously fast. Is it more dangerous when crossbred? Yes, I believe it would be, Angel. Their venom composition would be different, and stuff. So yes, absolutely. I'm not really fond of when they crossbreed them. I can't recognize a pattern. Yeah, I understand, Holly, but the ones that I am speaking of right now, like the gaboon rhino cross, they are a naturally occurring hybrid, so that happens in the wild. Alright. Yes, he live feeds some. I do live feed some snakes when it's necessary. When you see a snake, you want to know what you're looking at. I understand that, Holly, for sure. Hey, if there's anyone here that hasn't hit that like button, help us out. Smash that like button, please. But guys, since I did not get my shipment in and I didn't get to run out to the house and pick up one of the other snakes that I need for the 3 most toxic pit vipers in the United States, how about if I show some more exotic stuff? You know, maybe I can show some Indonesian pit vipers. Maybe I can show, you know, some more West African stuff. Nah, it's all good, Miley. I make out what you're saying usually. Whoa, this tripod's a piece of junk. You don't keep any anti-venom just in case. That stuff is ridiculously expensive. I do have, you know, a little bit on hand, but I don't have much, you know, not enough probably to do much against, especially a gaboon viper bite. Yeah, this is not a constrictor, Henry. This is a gaboon viper. When it comes to a venomous snake, they don't squeeze their prey. They just bite and inject venom into them. Now, she is one of the few vipers that bite a hold of her prey and keep a hold of it until it dies. Where a lot of vipers, you know, especially pit vipers, will bite their prey, let the prey run off and die, and then track the prey and eat it. But trying to stay to where we can see when she opens her big mouth up here. Huh, big girl? Let's see if we can stay close enough to see your big mouth open. Here in just a couple of minutes, let's see if she opens her mouth and everything, and then after that we will put her away and we'll pull out another snake that I'm sure a handful of you would like to see, and he may be ready to eat again too, so maybe we could try to feed him as well. Thank you, Holly. Appreciate it. Hey guys, can you smash that like button for me if you haven't already done so? We really need your likes to help these streams get out to more people. Again, they help bring people into future streams. They bring people in, more people in the night. You know, they really help us get education, information, conservation, and everything out to way more people. But anyway, guys, I'll let you guys look at her while I go grab the other guy here. I need my hook to be able to get past her. You got to be careful because the gaboon viper can strike and throw itself off the ground about as the length of its body. Hey, girl. You see her huffing, you might be able to hear her. It's alright, baby. Thank you, Margaret. As soon as I get 2 more likes, I will switch to a different snake. 2 more likes. Need 1 more. 1 more and we'll be switching to another snake. Awesome, awesome, awesome. There we go. So give me just a second and we will switch over to a different one. Pull this up. Thanks for the gift, Sue. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. What's up on me? How are you? Do these snakes need warming lights like other reptiles? Actually, no. They don't all need need warming lights and stuff. Now she has. She does have a heat pad. She never uses it, but I give it to her just for suspicion in case she gets cold. But I keep the ambient temperature, in the night times, usually 76 to 78. During the day, I keep it 80, 82, something like that. So most of my snakes, especially the venomous stuff, just basically, thrive with ambient temperatures. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to try to move this dude in like this, where we can keep him on the vegetation here. And once I get his rodent ready, I'm sure let me run him up out of here. There we go. He's coming up out. Come on, Bubba. Hey, come on, Bubba. Hey, come here, Bubba. Hey. No, don't touch the tape, you knucklehead. Here, let me move that duct tape because I don't want you getting stuck to it and you're gonna pain in the butt. Here, there we go. Here, get on there. Get on there. Okay. Let me get a rodent thawing out here real quick while we take, and then I'll get him, a little better positioned here on camera. No, you don't. Stay there, Bubba. There we go. Yeah, I have a question. When I was very young, my dad had 4 rattlesnakes, all in the same enclosure. I remember he threw a few rats in and left. The rats chewed off the snake's head. Yes, the live rats can kill a rattlesnake, or can kill snakes, absolutely. Why they do it, I don't know. But it's one thing I was showing last night with Bill, actually. That Bill was bitten in the eye by a rat. Live rodents are dangerous for reptiles unless you are right there monitoring it. Now, this guy is starting to get dull in color, so he may be getting ready to go in the shed. So we'll see if he's going to eat or not. That's a beautiful snake. Oh, yeah, thank you, thank you. This is the Trimerosaurus insularis, also known as the blue insularis. It also, goes by the Komodo Island pit viper. It goes by the white-lipped pit viper or the white-lipped island pit viper. It's found specifically on the Komodo Island in Indonesia. And once I get this rodent going here, we will talk about this guy, and we will actually learn a little something about him too. It's the blue insularis pit viper, and the blue insularis is a color form of the white-lipped pit viper, and he's called the white-lipped island pit viper. The white-lipped pit viper is found, across Indonesia. This blue morph, though, is found, particularly on the islands like Komodo Island. Sometimes rarely found on the Flores Island. But while many of these individuals are green, like the mainland ones, the island ones are blue, this, real extraordinary coloration. And obviously this color really captivates, reptile enthusiasts, all over the place. A lot of people wonder why they're blue, and the exact reason's not fully understood yet. It's likely linked to, the island genetics and environmental pressures. Whenever they're on isolated islands, species usually develop weird traits over generations. It's a phenomenon, known as island variation. And it really has shaped a lot of remarkable animals. And the blue insularis is definitely a striking example of it. But despite the real crazy cool appearance, the snake is not designed to be flashy for attention. It's still an ambush predator. It's a pit viper. Its coloration may help it blend, among shadows and vines and filtered tropical light, that sort of shifts between greens and blue hues, underneath the canopy. Like other pit vipers, the insularis possesses, those specialized heat-sensing pits that you see there between the eye and the nostril. And the pits allow the snake to, detect infrared radiation. In very, very simple terms, it can see heat. Even when it's in complete darkness, it can sense the body warmth of a rodent or a small bird nearby. And this ability makes it, an incredibly efficient hunter, if you will. Unlike snakes that are the ones that actively chase their prey like a cobra, the insularis, prefers patience. It coils quietly on a branch somewhere and usually at nighttime for these guys and just waits. And whenever prey comes within range, they got a really fast and precise strike. They inject their venom. The prey, quickly expires, and the snake consumes it whole. Its venom is primarily hemotoxic. That means that it affects the blood and the tissue. And when bites, to humans, they're rarely fatal with medical care, but they can be extremely painful and medically significant. They cause a lot of swelling and tissue damage and systemic symptoms. As with all venomous snakes, caution and respect is super essential. But there's something important. The blue insularis does not hunt humans. It does not seek confrontation. All bites usually happen whenever people attempt to handle them or disturb them. In their natural habitat, they're simply part of an ecosystem. And the tropical islands of Indonesia are rich with biodiversity. They got dense forests, the volcanic landscapes, humid air, just a web of life that has evolved over thousands of years. So in this web, the blue insularis plays a vital role as a predator. And it does so by controlling rodent populations, and other small animals. It really helps maintain a balance. If you remove the predators, the ecosystem shift. Rodent numbers increase. Some crops may suffer. The disease risks rise. The balance of nature really depends on each participant within it. Even the ones that we fear. Now, physically, the blue insularis is not enormous. Adults typically reach 2 to 3 feet in length. They're definitely a slender, agile, animal, and they're often arboreal, and that just means that they spend a lot of their life in the trees or the shrubs. And I'm going to show you guys as he crawls along here, the tail on this guy. It's actually got a really bright red section to that tail, and if I touch it, he might wing his head back here. Nope. He sort of did jump, but and just to show you, see, he sort of come back. But you looking at that red part of the tail, what that's for is in the wild, they will actually wiggle that tail on a branch somewhere, and when a rodent, like you watch his head, watch. When a rodent touches it, boom, he jumps, to get the rodent. So that's what that's all about. But these guys are your classic, pit viper. They got that triangular shaped head, the vertical pupils, the coiled resting posture. So it all gives them that classic viper, appearance. But it's the color that really captures the imagination, And the blue is not always permanent with these animals. Some of these guys may, shift in shade over time, And not all populations are blue. Many of them are green. The blue morph really tends to be more common in certain islands, which is why collectors often refer to specific island localities when describing them. Like the Komodo Island pit viper, for example. So, with popularity comes responsibility, but because of this snake's, very, very striking appearance, the insularis pit vipers have become sought after in the reptile trade. And while captive breeding exists, illegal collection from the wild can pose, risks to natural populations if it's not managed responsibly. Conservation really, really matters. The island ecosystems are especially fragile. Habitat loss, deforestation, climate change, and definitely over collection can really impact species quickly. And when an animal lives only in a limited geographic area, its survival really depends heavily on the stability of that environment. So the story of the blue insularis is not just about color or venom. It's about adaptation, isolation, and survival. Hey guys, if there's anybody here that hasn't hit that like button, please help us out. Smash that like button. It really helps get this out to more people. Brings people into our future streams. It just does a lot of work for us by y'all hitting the like button. It really helps us, get the education out there. It really helps tremendously with conservation efforts. Way more so than you could possibly understand. It really just helps a lot. It doesn't cost you anything, but it pays off tremendously for both the animals and the channel here at the Virtual Reptarium. So, the story of the blue insularis isn't, like I said, just about color or venom. It's about adaptation, isolation, and survival. On the islands, life really evolves differently because there's fewer predators or competitors, so traits can intensify. Colors, may become brighter, sizes may change, behavior shift. The blue insularis stands, really as a living example of how, I guess, geography shades biology. And beyond biology, there's symbolism. So the snake's vibrant blue reminds us that nature's not, limited to dull tones. It's really bold. It's artistic, in my opinion. It's imaginative beyond anything we could design. And what might look dangerous at first glance can also be, very beautiful. Fear and beauty often coexist. The duality is something that we see often in the natural world. The ocean, that's breathtaking, yet powerful enough to destroy everything. Fire's mesmerizing, yet it's capable of devastation. The blue insularis embodies that same balance, elegance and danger intertwined. So, when we learn about, creatures like the Trimerosaurus insularis, we are reminded that knowledge transforms fear into respect. And understanding how an animal behaves really reduces unnecessary risk. So respecting its space prevents conflict. And if you were to walk through a forest, on the Komodo Island, you might never notice one coiled quietly on the branch above you. It wouldn't rattle, it wouldn't announce its presence. It would simply remain still, trusting that its camouflage, would keep itself hidden from you. And that stillness is really powerful. In a world where speed dominates, and noise is constant, the blue insularis survives through patience, through precision and through timing. It doesn't waste energy. It doesn't overreact. It waits. There's definitely wisdom in that. And as we conclude talking about this guy, we got to reflect on what this remarkable snake represents. That's adaptation to environment, artistry of evolution, and the delicate balance of island ecosystems. The blue insularis is more than a beautiful reptile. It's a testament to nature's creativity. It's a reminder that the world still holds colors that we do not expect and designs that we could never invent. So I'm hoping that we can continue to explore, to learn, and to protect the extraordinary life that, shares this planet with us. Even the creatures that, really shine in brilliant blue and move in silence through the trees. And guys, with that, I think this rodent is probably thawed out to do this feeding. Guys, can you please smash that like button if you haven't already? Once again, guys, it really helps the channel out tremendously. Again, yes, we're a monetized channel, as you can tell by the super chat icon. However, in the last month we have, made like $75 or $76, somewhere in that area. So it's not about the money to us. It's about the likes. It's about reaching the most people we possibly can and educating people, trying to turn fear into curiosity and turn fear into respect. Just try to conserve these animals. Try to get people to understand that, beauty and danger coexist every single day. There's no reason to have such fear for these animals. They are not the villains that Hollywood makes them out to be. I'm standing literally inches from this animal, and you see as I get close, it backs up. So this snake is not going to chase you down. It don't want to attack you. There's not a snake out there that's going to chase you down unless it feels provoked. And the only one even feeling provoked that I know would do that is either the forest cobra or the black mamba. And even them, they're going to charge you for a second, and if you run, they're going to turn and take off. They're doing that bluffing to get you to get the heck out of the way. But guys, I'm going to try to feed him. It is a frozen thawed rodent, so it is not live. I don't know if he's going to accept, but we're going to give it a shot. Come on, brother. I'm gonna get him a little angry here. Hey, thank you for the super chat, Possum. Appreciate that very much. Thank you, thank you. You don't want to eat, Bubba? Because I know somebody who will eat it if you don't. You don't want it? Do you want it, Bubba? Is it cold? No, it's not cold. It's hot. Let's get it a little hotter and see if that helps you. Yeah, I know. He doesn't, he may not be hungry, but sometimes if I get him a little bit upset with me, he'll go ahead and take it. Some of these animals, you don't really have to with these bigger guys, but some younger ones, you got to do what's called tease feeding. What up, Cayman? How are you, buddy? Good to see you. No, I do not have a green anaconda here, no. He might, Clayton. We're going to see what we can get him to do here. If he don't, like I say, I got somebody that will. I'm pretty sure I just fed this guy just the other day. I'd have to check my records, but I'm almost certain I fed him about 3 days ago. So that might be why he's not real interested, but we'll find out here in a couple of minutes if we can get him to take it or not. I'm getting it real good and hot here. So, and if he don't, like I say, I'll go grab the big female. She'll probably take it. The female's not quite as stubborn as he is. Up there, he just gave a half-hearted mouth opening there. He's gonna, come on, Bubba. Nah, he ain't gonna. He probably ain't gonna go for it. Come on, Bubba. You want it? One more chance. One more chance. Nope, he ain't gonna go for it, guys. So I'm gonna have to give it to the female or something here. So let me go grab the female. I'll put him away and I'll go get the female, and then she'll definitely, well, I can't say definitely because, a couple of them have refused to eat lately, so, but she should eat. Let me put him away and go grab the female. She's a lot bigger than he is. Oh, baby Huffy. Yeesh. Yeesh, baby Huffy. Okay, let me go grab the female. Take me just a minute to get her. Let's see here. Alright. Come here, big girl. Come on, big girl. You want to eat? Huh? You want to eat, big chubby girl? Hey, big chubby girl. Hey. Alright. Let's see if we can get her to decide to take it here. Hey, big chubby girl. Hey. Hey, big girl. Hey. Hey, big girl. Hey. Hey. Hey girl, look what I got. 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 Come on, come on. There you go, girl. There we go. If she moves, I will try to move with her. Hey guys, smash that like button for me, please. I appreciate these. Says Parody. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, please smash that like button. Again, guys, it helps get this out to more people. It brings people into these streams. It brings people into my future streams. It helps with conservation. You know, I know a lot of y'all heard this a bunch of times so far, but it really does. It helps with conservation efforts. It helps us, you know, get people over their fears of snakes. You know, we're able to teach people that you can easily coexist with these creatures. It turns fear into respect, and in turn it saves, you know, it saves both the animal's life and human lives. You know, so it does a lot for us by y'all just simply hitting that like button. It doesn't cost you a thing, and it pays off for the channel. It pays off for the public. You know, it does just lots and lots to help us out. Water. Oh, we talk about what's dripping. Yeah, it's just water. That's just water from heating the rodent up. That's all. Nah, that's not the snake venom, Charles. It's water. Water, water, water. It's just water from heating up the rodent. Because it was frozen thawed. Let me try to adjust a little more. There we go. Yeah, they eat, yep, definitely. McDonald's, Burger King, and KFC. They eat Bojangles from time to time. It's a Blue Insularis, House of Horrors. Thank you, Alexis. I'm 71, live in Florida, and we have lots of rattlesnakes and water moccasins. Yeah, absolutely, Charles. Y'all do for sure. Guys, if you see a lot of blood on that rodent right there. That's because of the hemotoxic venom. You know, it actually prevents that blood from clotting. They got some proteins in that venom of these snakes that prevent the blood from clotting. Yeah, you'll watch the fangs on, the sides. They'll actually use the fangs. It stretches the fang out and pokes into it again and pulls it in farther. What's up, Moon? I'm not sure. Irian? Yeah, something like that. I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry. What's up, Alexis Jefferson? Guys, smash that like button for me while you're here, please. Again, guys, without your likes, these streams peter out to nothing, and they just fizzle out. We don't get nobody into our future streams. So by y'all hitting the like button, you can ensure we get people into our future streams. You can help us with our conservation efforts. There's just a lot of stuff you can do to help out us and the public by simply double tapping your screen. Panhandle around a bunch of fresh water and wood, so they are everywhere around here. Yeah, absolutely. You probably see in the panhandle, you might see timber rattlesnakes, actually. Or what you call a canebrake. I'm going to go ahead and thaw out a couple of smaller rodents to do a couple other West African species of snakes tonight here. This is an Indonesian. This ain't really West African, but either way, it's an arboreal snake. Ton of oak snakes also, yeah, yep. To be honest with you, you just told me about a species I never heard of before, the oak snake. Yeah, that dripping like that looks really nasty. Ugh. I don't like that. Sorry, girl. Sorry, girl. Here, let me get that off of you. There. Now, most snakes, would have just spit out that whole rodent from me doing something like that. But, my snakes know me so well. They know I'm not a threat, and stuff. So she just relaxed and let me do it. She naturally jumped a little, but there we go. Thank you. Thank you. Coast, and there's every animal. How fast can they throw it up? Very, very fast. She could have that thing regurgitated in probably less than a second. Maybe 2 seconds at the most. All right. So as soon as she's finished, we're going to feed another snake. This other snake that we're going to feed actually just had babies about, I don't know, it ain't been quite a week ago, I don't think. Maybe right at a week ago. This camera's so damn tough to operate. There we go. Sundrop is the best soft drink. I think Pepsi's the best. Tom, quit cussing in here. Coke is a cuss word. Damn it, Conham, quit cussing. Coke is a bad word. It's a bad word. This is where it's at. Patrick, you get your ass blocked, damn it. Pepsi's a bad word. Ace of Spades, come on now. You guys are all talking shit to me, and I'm the one putting on the show. What the hell? What kind of guests are y'all? Howdy, I caught the tail end of the dinner, I see. Yes, you did, Thorn. How old is this snake? This snake here is 7 years old. Actually, you know what? She's 8 years old now. I'm sorry. She's 8 years old now. Yep. That snake is venomous, Couch. Couch Racer. Your number one's root beer. Root beer's alright. I like root beer. This snake's about 4 foot long. She's an extremely large female for the Insularis. She's a blue Insularis, also known as the Komodo Island pit viper. We'll watch her for a minute because she'll adjust her fangs and she'll give us a pretty epic look at her fangs and her mouth here. Try to keep the camera tilted up enough. Is their whole body their stomach? What's that? Is their whole body their stomach? Oh, no. Their stomach is about 2/3 of the way down their body, roughly, I guess. The best way I could explain it. Like, example, with her, let me get my finger in the shot. With her, her stomach would be probably right in this area right here. You got the most boring snakes where you live? Yeah, Charles, I got so many snakes, man. It's really hard for me to tell you every one of them. I mean, I've got lots of different rattlesnake species. I've got, you know, mambas, gaboons, cobras, you know. My goodness, man, I got a lot of them. There you, oh, she should do it real soon, a real wide open mouth adjustment. There she goes. Oh, that was still half-assed, girl. Normally you get your fangs swung way out there. I do not have a golden lancet, no. Oh yeah, we'll see another snake OG in just a couple of minutes. You held a 12-foot snake. It was probably a Burmese python or a reticulated python. All right, have a good night, animals. Thank you. You got red bellies and garter snakes. Well, hey, they all do their part in the ecosystem as well. They're just as important. How many pythons is a how many pythons? If I could have any snake, what would it be? I already have, the ones that I'd really like to have, A black-faced timber rattlesnake's my favorite. How dangerous is that snake if you get bit? Yeah, you would survive getting bit by this snake. It would hurt really bad. It would feel like you got hit with a baseball bat with a nail through it dipped in shit. But other than that, you would survive, unless you're allergic to the venom. He's lucky all he lost was his thumb, George. I have a yellow, Charles. Awesome pattern. It don't have a ton of pattern on it. Its skin has a pattern, but not the scales. But it's got that nice, pretty coloring. Yeah, Joshua. Sue Tom is correct. Over 200 snakes. Yeah, you have timber rattlesnakes. Where do you live, Bay? Or where do you live, Bill Mayer? Like what state? You ain't got to say exactly where you live. I'd prefer you don't say exactly where. Yes, I do have a moccasin. I actually have the Mexican cantil, and I have a Florida cottonmouth. Okay, you live in Iowa. Yep. You definitely got timbers in Iowa. I'm not sure if the eastern Massasauga stretches to there, but I think it does. You got a lot of cane brakes and moccasins. Where do you live, Queen Kong? What state? I'm in South Carolina, so we have a bunch of them too. What snake's in my profile? That is a monocled cobra. Yeah, that'd be cool, Conan. Okay, you're in France, OG. Cool. Yeah, lots of big timbers in Tennessee, Jennings, for sure. You're deep in East Texas? Gotcha. Yeah, that's about the farthest range of the timbers, Queen Kong, is eastern Texas there. A lot of people in Texas don't even see them anymore, but you go across the bridge into Louisiana, you start to see them again. So that's awesome that you're still seeing timbers there. You're Wisconsin? Okay. I'm going to put a lid on her, and I'm going to pull out another snake here. We're going to feed another one, so... Hey, big girl. Hey. let me get this girl out. And we'll feed this girl that I'm about to pull out here. Let me point the camera down at her, because I'm going to put her on them leaves right there. This girl just had babies about a week ago, roughly. Come here, pretty girl. Come here, pretty girl. Hey, come here, pretty girl. Hello, pretty girl. Hey. Hi, pretty girl. Now, this girl here is known as the variable bush viper, Atheris squamigera. They are essentially a living dragon. Alright, girl, here. Here, pretty girl, here. Sit on the leaves. Come on. Sit on the leaves. There you go, girl. There you go, pretty girl. Okay, so you grab my tongs and grab a rodent. I think she'll probably eat because, I mean, I just fed her, but being that she just had babies, she probably won't have no trouble eating. Well, maybe. Oh, crap. I dropped it. Here it is. Oh, sorry, girl. I didn't mean to scare you, girl. Here. Here. Yeah. Well, and actually, let me see here. Maybe it needs to be. Well, she may not eat. Like I said, I just fed her because of having babies. I just fed her, so she may not take nothing. No. Nah, she ain't gonna take it, but that's alright. I have another one that's a little bit different than her that, well, I'm trying to give it a mouse, a fuzzy mouse right now. Alright, we'll see you tomorrow, Conan. See you later. Thank you for coming. You have a lot of these snakes? Okay, cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I feed them live sometimes. Yep. Thank you, Linda AP. Good evening, Wilson, King of Prussia. Thanks for coming in again. Good to see you. Why are water moccasins so ugly? Well, it helps them blend in with the swampy, marshy areas that they like to live in. Thank you, Wilson. I'm not going to leave her out for too long. Like I say, her just having babies, I want to keep the stress to a minimum. But I have another snake. I sound like a cowboy, Ace of Spades. Well, I thank you, I guess. But I have another snake. This is the variable bush viper, Atheris squamigera. I have another bush viper that I'll bring out to try to feed that is the West African bush viper, and it is scientifically known as Atheris chlorechus. Give me just a second, guys. Alright, let me, inland taipan couch racer. Let me put this girl up and grab another one, because I think the other one might eat. She may or may not as well. You never know for sure with these guys. But, probably got a better chance with the other girl. No, girl, stay in there. There you go. Now, out of the two bush vipers, this one is my favorite. A lot of people tend to like the variable bush viper better, but I like this one much better. And I will get you a closer look at her here, but oh yeah, I got lots of cobras. Lots of cobras. So let's see if she'll grab something to eat here. Let's see here. Here, girl, you want something to eat? Sometimes it takes a little coaxing with her. Come on, girl. There we go. Look at the length of the fangs on her. And if y'all look closely, look at her right side. She has two fangs on the right side. It would be your left, her right. So the reason I'm pointing out the two fangs, just like the gaboon viper, is a lot of people like to say things like, oh, he has the fangs removed on these snakes and stuff. That's simply not true. A damn, you can pull their fangs out right now, and in an hour from now, they'd have a new set of fangs in there taking their place. Let me give her a minute to get that down a little farther. Can you tell when they're happy? Yeah, I can kind of tell the difference in the demeanor of them and stuff. Come on, girl. You want another one? Come on. Another one? Let me give her a little bit here to get that one down, and then we'll give her a third one. The way you tell is by probing them. There's a long metal rod that's dull on the end, and you put that in their cloaca or their hemipene pocket, and if the probe goes, deep in there, it's a male. If it only goes in a scale or two, it's a female. I didn't see what Thornstack said. I apologize. Last time I was here, you had an emergency and had to go. Hope everything was okay. Yeah, we're good now, Thornstack. Sorry about that, buddy. My neighbor is elderly and passed out, and I had to rush him to the hospital. Alright, let me give this last one to her. See if she'll take it. She probably will. I don't see why not. Come on, girl. You want one more? Come on. Here's another one. Come on. Come on, girl. One more. Come on, girl. There you go. Look at that, girl. She don't give a damn. I mean, she just ate that thing sideways. These are fuzzies. They're not pinkies. They're fuzzies. You're close enough, though, but the fuzzies are much larger. Oh, yeah, she can eat. She's a good eater. Very good eater. What's up, Kelly? Thanks for stopping. Hey, if there's anybody here that hadn't hit that like button yet, please help us out. Smash that like button, guys. It'll help bring more people into the stream right now. It'll help bring people into the future streams. Does a bunch for us here. Wow. Time flies when you're having fun, guys. We're almost at the end of the episode for the night. But anyway, tomorrow morning I am going to run out to my place. I'm going to grab another snake that I need to do for the most venomous, or the most toxic venomous pit vipers in North America. So I will stop and grab that tomorrow. I have one here, and then I should have another one delivered tomorrow. So I should have the 3 snakes I need to put that show on. And we will have a pretty good show tomorrow night. Was Hardy Joe in here already? Yeah, guys, remember to hit that like button. And also, guys, everybody that's here, whenever I end this stream, I don't know if y'all have your notifications turned on or not for my channel, but when I end this stream, it takes me about 5 to 7 minutes to set up tomorrow's live stream. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and set that up on my other phone right now. And if I could get some of y'all to go over there to tomorrow's live stream and hit the like button and stuff for us, that would really help things out as well. Let me see if I can do that while we're actually on stream here. What turned me on to serpents? Well, I used to breed Burmese pythons way back in the day, back when all you had was a normal and an albino. I was into breeding those way back then. And then I've always liked, venomous snakes, but I was addicted to opioid pain medication for quite some time. And when I finally kicked the addiction with opioids, I got into keeping, purchasing venomous snakes. I always kept 1 or 2 before this, but after the addiction, it became my full-time replacement addiction, I guess you might want to call it, because I spent my money on snakes, and I just started researching and studying and learning everything I possibly could about them. Are you talking about the Japanese one, the Habu viper, Arthur? No problem, Frank. I just, try to be honest with everybody, about it. That's all. I'm by no means ashamed of my past, so I just want to be honest about it. Yeah, she has a little bit of stuck shed back there on her neck. Yep. And the only way for me to safely get that off of her would be to pin her, and I'm not going to pin her for a little piece of stuck shed that'll come off, the next time she sheds. Kyle, happy to hear about your success with your recovery. I've been in recovery. That's exactly the same for me, Kyle. 2009. It was late 2009. Yep. Good job to you too, man. Congratulations. That's a battle scar, Ace of Spades said. Better than a sober living. In my opinion, yes, Arthur. I've always been a loner. I've never been the group type of person. So it was just better for me to do my way, in my opinion, and I was successful doing so. Hey, thank you for the gift, GDK. Guys, and that's one of the things about snakes that I really like. Their venom right now is actually being studied very heavily for pain medication to replace opioids. Um, I don't know, some people don't know, a lot do, but opioid pain medication, is not only, a good pain medication, but it actually, is very effective on things like depression and anxiety. And there's lots of other things that the opioid receptors, are responsible for, helping with. So if we're able to successfully create a medication that is non-opioid based, from the snake venom, that would also handle those aspects of things, it would be freaking amazing. It would end a huge epidemic. Huge epidemic. What's up, Steven? Thank you. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to schedule the live till I'm done on this one. Oh, by the way, Sue, how did your gecko do that you had to medicate and force feed? Did he do okay or not? He died? Okay, okay. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but sometimes you just get failure to thrive. You guys know that I have lost a few snakes, since you've met me and stuff. So it just happens. You just got to say it, snake oil. Well, snake oil, hey, okay. What'd you want to say snake oil for, possum? Yeah, let me try to get you a close-up of her here. This snake is a very, very pretty snake. Very pretty snake. Come here, big girl. Come here, big girl. Let go of the branch. Come on. Come on, girl. Come on. Come on, girl. Let go. Let go. Let go. These bush vipers have what's called a prehensile tail, and it makes them very, very... Let me zoom out. There we go. Makes them very... like a hand, you know. It's like they almost have a hand. You're a pretty girl. Now you're getting... She's checking out the camera. Replace opioids with snake oil. Ooh, you're getting a little close to the digits there, girl. But see that tail right there, like I said, it's called a prehensile tail. And it's almost like having a hand on the end of their body. They grab right a hold of stuff. Now, guys, somebody had asked this question in the past, so let me zoom out and try to show you this. Hopefully, I stay on camera. But somebody asked me, what do you do if she starts crawling towards my hand on the hook? And I explained, I simply grab the other end of the hook and I let her go as far as she chooses to go on the hook. Let me try to turn her around here. Of course, girl, I turn you all the way around, you turn your head on me. She got a little bit of something stuck to her face there, but I'm not going to get it off of there. No, the hook is not sharp, Ace. Here, I'll show you the end of the hook. The end of the hook is blunt. Very blunt. Yep, the hook is just to scoop them up. Actually, the purpose of the hook, guys, is how it's got this little belly in it here. What that's about is for the snake's body to lay in that. That way, like, because if you didn't have that, the snake would just slide down the hook right towards your hand if you lifted the end up too high. So it's got that belly to keep it from being able to do that. Try to give you a straight on look at her here. It's so weird. I don't know if it's the camera or the lights, but it's making it look like she doesn't have eyes. No, that's her camouflage. Her eyeballs literally look like the rest of her scales and everything. Let me pick her back up here and show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, I mean, their eyes are literally the same look as their body. I try to do it zoomed in a little bit so we can see good. She keeps turning her head the more I turn. But yeah, her eyes actually have the same patterning as her body, all except for the pupils. here, girl. Come on, you gotta come back up here. Come on, back it up here. Come on, up here. Up here, girl. There you go. But guys, like if you were out in the woods, you know, or out in the forest somewhere, in the rainforest and stuff, you know, seriously, if you weren't looking specifically for a snake right now, you would never see this snake. Let me zoom out. If you weren't specifically looking for her, you wouldn't even know she was there. Yep, Wilson, it's kind of crazy. Some snakes have it, some don't. Nah, Ace, you was definitely correct. Definitely correct. What's up, Hawaiian? This is a West African bush viper, scientifically known as Atheris chlorechus. Yep. Come here, girl. Hey. No. But see how I'm holding her with the hook here, and I keep the hook at a downward angle. That's because if I was to hold it the other way, you know, if I was to tilt upward on it, this snake could actually slide down the handle right onto my hand. And then all you're doing is holding the end of the tail. And you shouldn't do that with an arboreal snake. That's why I got it so close to the very end of the tail, because they have a prehensile tail, and they will wrap that tail right around you. And then if it starts to be lashing out, striking at you because it feels scared, you're not going to get it out of your hands. Ephemedio, I don't know how you say it. Yes, it's a venomous snake, yes. And here, maybe she's thirsty. Maybe we can give her a drink. Let's see here. Check my spray bottle, make sure it's nobody putting nothing in it. No, we're good. Okay, here, girl. Hey. She just sort of struck. I zoom in, you guys can see it. If you watch here, she finds a puddle of water. You'll see her start flexing, like her head muscles, getting a drink. And if you guys see, you know, like on the sides of her head where it looks like a couple fat butt cheeks, that's actually the venom glands on that snake. She holds a pretty big venom yield for such a small animal. Oh, shit. Come on, damn it. There you go. She's like a dragon. Yeah, absolutely. She's like a living dragon. Kids at home, don't do what I just did. I'm not sure what I just did, but that's correct. Don't do what I did. See you later, Hawaiian Joe. Yeah, she does. Learn how to fly, be a flying dragon. What's up, girl? Don't be a jerk, okay? I'm just sneaking past you. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I'm pretty sure that awesome Hawaiian. Thank you. Well, we do live streams every single night at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. We show different snakes each night. We talk a lot about them. We learn about them. We have a lot of fun. We just chat a little bit. I answer questions in the chat. All that stuff, you know. So hit your subscribe button and turn on your notifications, and when we go live you'll get a notification. Come on back in and check out and see what we got to look at tomorrow. But guys, it looks like I've got about 3 minutes left, so I'm going to start saying good night to everybody here. I hope you all enjoyed the stream tonight. I appreciate everybody that was here, and everybody has liked and watched and returned again. I hope to see a bunch of y'all again tomorrow night that were here tonight and last night. Really appreciate you people that return. I appreciate the new viewers too, but it really helps us tremendously when y'all return and watch, you know, more than once. Check out some of the short videos on my channel. I would like to ask, it looks like we have about 33 people here right now. If I was to start making long form videos, you know, would y'all watch them? You know, would you take the time to watch, you know, a 10 or 15 minute video? I'd be curious to know, you know, if you guys would, you know, devote the time to watch long form stuff. Thank you for that, Miley. Awesome, Jennings, awesome. Yeah, so I'm going to make a long form video and try to give it a test, you know, and see if people will, you know, spend the time to watch the long form or not, you know. So we'll do a couple of test videos, see if we can get the views up on them. But either way, you know, I will still do live streams, but I really would like to do some long form stuff. You'd watch any video? Awesome, Ace of Spade. Thank you. But, all right, guys, I'm going to call it a night here. I'm going to put this girl away. Thank you guys very much. Thank you, Thornstack. Awesome. Good to hear that. And hopefully we see you tomorrow, Thornstack, anytime you got time. Again, we're live every night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You know, sometimes I'm, you know, 3 or 4 minutes late. But typically, Sue, Tom, JT, Tom, they're in the chat, you know, waiting for me. So, you know, go on in there and have a chat with them. If I'm ever a couple minutes late, I'll be right in. And sometimes I don't realize what time it is, but JT Tom, you know, sends me a text message and tells me, hey, idiot, it's time to go live. So then I hurry up and go live. But good night, everybody. I'm going to put her away. I'm going to put her away right now. Come here, girl. Get up here, pretty girl. Okay, I've got her put up. Good night, sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. All right, guys, it's been fun. Y'all have a good night. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Appreciate you very much.